IPL is all set to begin. And initially it did seem as if the great game was under some sort of a jinx, as owner after owner flirted with trouble, whether it was with the EDs, with the courts, and some even faced jail time. So what is it about this game that both entices and entraps? And have things subsided over the last year? This week in Cover Story, we take a look at the great drama that is the Indian Premier League. The game of IPL is a professional T20 cricket league in India. It is governed by the Board of Cricket Control, though it has its own IPL commissioner. Because of the high stakes involved, the team owners are mostly high-profile businessmen and Bollywood stars. That's only appropriate because the IPL is a heady mix of both glamour and power. And when the stakes are high, so is the thrill and the fallout. Is there an IPL jinx? People are talking about it, whether it's Vijay Mallya, Shahrashri, Shashi Tharoor. If you look at it, the Deccan Riders, everybody, I think apart from the Ambanis, everybody else seems to be bitten by the IPL jinx.
Please don't blame IPL for the individual actions or the whatever they have done in life. I think IPL is a very, very successful product.
I think the owners may be cursed, but IPL, I don't think is cursed because despite all the controversies and whatever is going wrong with it, off the field, IPL is thriving, audiences are coming, maybe television ratings may have fallen a bit, but I think IPL is here to not just survive, but it is changing the whole dynamics of the sport itself.
IPL is high stakes game and the owners have come in willingly. If you notice the way Sanjeev Goenka has come in, the way a new Maharashtrian investment person has come in, they have acquired the team with a lot of price, hoping that the craze of IPL will continue to go up. So it's a gamble. Industrialists who love to gamble, they have taken this gamble. It's the world's richest cricket league where some of the finest top players, they all come in and play. It's almost like the big bucks English Premier League or the La Liga, where top players are in action and you go and see them. I don't think they really worry about how much of losses they are making. I think if the losses keep mounting, the impact will be seen, but not now. At least I would rather give IPL at least 3 to 4 more years before something drastic happens to IPL.
The latest statement, by Brad Hodge, where he says that Virat perhaps did sacrifice the last test match to gear up for IPL, which is in bad taste for anybody and everybody who knows even a little bit of Virat. But the fact that that came out tells you about the psyche, about how people have approached IPL, or the limitations perhaps, or the impediments, or the challenges which IPL gets along with it. But hey, well, that's the way it's supposed to be. It's brought out an enormous amount of money to the game, which anyway was not bereft of funds. And perhaps getting in corporate funding will make it a little more transparent, will make it a little more competitive. Because there is money as well as, glamour, as well as pride at the end of the line. And just the fact that the involvement of the number of people, there have been so many allied industries which have really propelled with the IPL. So I really don't think there's much of any losers. And if you look at it very subtly, even the longer traditional version of the game has in no way been challenged. I mean, Test cricket is right up in the fore. And by getting instant cricket into the mix, you're actually having more decisive Test cricket. So, and a lot of it is coming from the IPL. So I just think that it's done wonders.
Vijay Mallya's UB Group got the Bangalore City franchisee for $101.6 million US, while India Cements backed the Chennai team for $91 million US, and the Delhi franchisee went to the GMR Group for $84 million US. Deccan Chronicle brought the Hyderabad team for $107 million US, while the Jaipur franchisee went to Emerging Media-led consortium for $67 million US. And the Kolkata team went to Shah Rukh Khan's Red Chillies Entertainment for $75.09 million US. And the Mohali franchisee went to Preeti Zinta, Ness Wadia, Karan Paul and Dabur's Mohit Burman for $76 million US. No one was surprised when the most expensive team went to Mukesh Ambani's Reliance India Limited, which bought the Mumbai franchisee for $101.9 million US. All this was 10 years ago, but even that time, the smell of a crony club was in the air. At IPL's very first press conference, in fact, the then IPL Commissioner Lalit Modi was asked whether there was a conflict of interest in India Cements, of which BCCI Treasurer N. Srinivasan is Vice Chairman and Managing Director, becoming a team owner. Modi replied that since Srinivasan was just a stakeholder and not the owner, there was no conflict of interest. But that was merely a technicality, as was the fact that the Jaipur team had his own brother-in-law, Suresh Jelaram, as a stakeholder, while the Burmans of the Mohali team were Modi's stepdaughters-in-laws.
So when he turns around and tells the world that N. Srinivasan was guilty of nepotism, blah, 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 the same Lalit Modi was guilty of everything. His wife, Minal Modi's sister, Kavita, is married to Suresh Jelaram, who is the lead investor in Rajasthan Royals. Okay? His stepdaughter, Karima, is married to Gaurav Burman, who is Mohit Burman's brother, lead investor in Punjab Kings 11. His childhood friend Jay Mehta is an investor in KKR along with Shah Rukh Khan. Who are the other franchise owners who were given franchises? Mukesh Ambani, for obvious reasons. Shah Rukh Khan, again for obvious reasons.
Well, I think Lalit Modi did, it was crony capitalism at its best. He got his close friends, relatives to buy the team. I think at that time he thought that because IPL was a new concept, whether it will be a hit or not, because a lot of investment was required to get the best players across the world to play IPL. He did what he thought was best suited to it.
Vijay Mallya, of course, was one of the most high-profile offenders when he got flack from the ED over non-payment of loans worth over Rs 9,000 crore to various banks as well as non-payment of dues to his Kingfisher airline employees. It could be argued that none of this has anything to do with his IPL team. But distaste and distrust of his business practices became collateral damage for his IPL team as it turned public opinion against him.
I'm sure in some other country there would have been a hue and cry, and maybe the public would have said that we won't go and watch his matches when his team is playing, because what he is doing is wrong. He's spending so much money on the IPL team, but he's declaring himself bankrupt, not paying salaries. But in a country like India, these things don't happen. It didn't happen. There was no pressure, no ethical, moral pressure put by people on Mr. Mallya that, look, what you're doing is wrong.
What tempts businessmen to this game? Is it all about the glamour and the glitz? What kind of owners do these high-flying page 3 glitterati make?
Subrata Roy invested a lot of money in sports. If you notice carefully, it was not just cricket. He had invested a significant amount of money in hockey. Did he utilize the cricketing fraternity to boost his business? I think a lot of Sahara's investors looked at cricketers when they came in and put in money. But they have been putting in money much before Sahara actually went whole hog into sports. So to directly link cricket to Sahara's investments and fortunes or misfortunes probably will not be right. But yes, a significant amount of player parading Subrata Roy has always done. Let's say if you had the entire cricket team in Delhi for a particular event, and he would have Sachin Tendulkar eating out of his hands. So obviously it shows a kind of power play.
Vijay Mallya would regularly interfere in the team. He would interfere in the selection, he would interfere in the playing 11, he would even kind of interfere in cricket strategies. And so it became so much of a problem that he had to quit after the first season because he couldn't handle the thing. And he would say that Vijay Mallya would walk in and treat cricketers like they were his kind of minions and stuff like that, and he was like this emperor or prince or something like that.
This kind of rivalry has always been there, or a Shah Rukh Khan making certain drastic changes in the team and eventually easing out sort of Ganguly from KKR. Now, these kind of rivalries obviously will always be there where big players are coming into play under big franchises.
I think for a lot of owners, the first 2 seasons were a learning curve on how to deal with a team, a cricket team, and stars and people who are icons to the public and the world, and how do you deal with them? Do you deal with them as equals, or because you bought them, purchased them in auctions? Are they your employees or are they your juniors?
It seems as if the jinx was at its peak in 2011, for along with Subrata Roy Sahara, who bought the Pune team, the other team that was inducted at that time was the Kochi Tuskers. Both are defunct now, with Sahara in and out of jail over his business practice, while the ownership of the Kochi team ran into controversy from the word go. with the then Union Minister Shashi Tharoor having to quit his ministership from the UPA government over allegations of having sweat equity in the Kochi team. Initially, the then minister denied having any sweat equity, but after a spat with Lalit Modi, the skeletons came tumbling out. It was Lalit Modi who spilled the beans via a tweet that in fact it was Sunanda Pushkar, then Tharoor's girlfriend, who held the sweat equity. In the storm that followed, Tharoor had to resign as minister.
He made it clear that cricket was very close to his heart. He was very close to the team from Kerala, the Kerala Blasters, or whatever. And he actually, the Kochi franchisee, he personally nurtured that. And that was the start of his problems in his family and with his rivals also. Once again, I keep talking of the pressures of social media. Let's not forget, if he had ignored that tweet from Lalit Modi, things wouldn't have gone so wrong. So I think it's once again rivalry on the social media. You provoke someone, you say, I will spill the beans, and then you turn around, you're a minister in an influential position, and all hell breaks loose.
Like Shashi Tharoor, for instance, it was basically cricket which kind of got into controversy because he wanted to get Sunanda Pushkar into the team as a part owner with sweat equity and things like that. And Lalit Modi got angry with him because he didn't do Lalit Modi's work, which Modi had asked him to do. At that time, he was a junior minister in the external affairs, and Lalit Modi did not want X person to be given a visa.
At that time, there were also rumors that the IPL was under some sort of a jinx. The BCCI was at pains to squash this notion, with the IPL Commissioner Rajiv Shukla citing the case of Preeti Zinta's case, saying in a lighter tone that she got married after IPL, so how can you complain about a jinx?
Well, I think that will be very unfair to link her fortunes to IPL. But yes, a significant amount of her time, minus her movies, were on the cricket fields, and all that happened around the cricket field during the match and after the match. So I think that's where she got her popularity.
All the teams, in whatever capacity, are in trouble, either related to cricket or unrelated to cricket. But the only common factor between them is they're all IPL team owners. If you look at Kolkata, Shah Rukh Khan was interrogated by Enforcement Directorate, again because of where the money had come from and what was the source of the money. If you look at the Delhi team, GMR got into trouble because of the airport, the Delhi airport. There was a CAG report, and then they had financial trouble.
कि मालिकों को क्या एडवाइस है जो आईपीएल के मालिक हैं कि वो ज्यादा अपने सोच समझ के इन्वेस्ट करें?
केवल इतना ही एडवाइस है कि ये खेल है और देश इसको देख रहा है. ये केवल आपका बिजनेस एम्पायर नहीं है, ये भारत का सबसे लोकप्रिय खेल भी है. खेल के साथ खेले नहीं, खेल को बढ़ावा दें.
But let's take a look at all those on the jinx list. Lalit Modi, the first IPL commissioner, is facing accusations of money laundering, corruption charges and criminal cases. His passport has been revoked and he is in exile in London. Subroto Roy Sahara of the now defunct Pune Warriors is out on bail on charges of investor fraud. Vijay Mallya of Royal Challengers is dodging EG summons for non-payment of over Rs 9,000 crore in loans to 17 banks in India. Shashi Tharoor had to resign over allegations that his then-girlfriend Sunanda Pushkar held sweat equity in Kochi Tuskers.
I have done nothing improper or unethical, let alone illegal. Nonetheless, in view of the ongoing political controversy, I have no desire to be an embarrassment to the government, and I believe that my departure at this stage will allow the Prime Minister and his cabinet colleagues to focus on the great challenges facing our nation.
N. Srinivas's team, Chennai Super Kings, has been banned from the IPL for 2 years on allegations of spot fixing. Ditto for Rajasthan Royals, in which Lalit Modi's brother-in-law, Suresh Chelaram, has a significant stake.
IPL गवर्निंग काउंसिल की आज मीटिंग हुई और ये मीटिंग बुलाई गई थी लोढ़ा कमेटी की रिपोर्ट आने के बाद उस पर विचार करने के लिए, जिसमें ऑलमोस्ट सारे मेंबर्स ने पार्टिसिपेट किया, विच इंक्लूड्स रवि शास्त्री एंड सौरव गांगुली ऑल्सो. और इसके सबके इस पे विचार लिए गए कि सबका क्या कहना कि क्या नहीं होना चाहिए. लीगल ओपिनियन जो हमारे लीगल एक्सपर्ट्स हैं बीसीसीआई की, उनकी भी ली गई. उसके बाद सबसे पहला डिसीजन हमने ये किया कि तो लोढ़ा कमेटी की रिपोर्ट को हम रिस्पेक्ट करते हैं और इसको हम इन टोटो पूरी तरह से जो उन्होंने वर्डिक्ट दिया उसको हम लागू करेंगे.
Deccan Chargers owner Venkatram Reddy faced a jail term for his alleged loan fraud, and his media business Deccan Chronicles collapsed. He is currently out on bail and the team has been scrapped. What makes IPL owners so vulnerable? Does the game in a way symbolize their high-risk lives revolving on a roulette wheel of glamour, glitz and power?
Right from the beginning, the seeds of IPL itself were flawed and manipulated, and hence what grew as a tree or as a plant had to be flawed and had to be crooked.
To figure out the structure of the IPL, one will have to go back to the man who conceptualized this game and also his equations with the rest. Lalit Modi's rivalry with N. Srinivas and even the current IPL chief Rajiv Shukla are well known. Modi is said to have the support of another BCCI Supremo, Sharad Pawar. But given the high stakes of the game, these coteries are merely shifting sands.
So, are you saying Srinivasan is out, Lalit Modi is out? So, who is the new system rather? Is it Rajiv Shukla? Is it?
It's still being built. I think old people and the newer people are getting together. So, Rajiv Shukla apparently has a finger in the pie. He wants more fingers. Anurag Thakur is trying to kind of now become the next Srinivasan. I'm sure that over the next few years he's going to be the president of the BCCI. So there are other people who want to kind of come back. Former players now see an opportunity because of the Lodha committee report and the recommendations that he has given to clean up BCCI. I don't think it will work, but those are the recommendations.
Coteries will always be there if the game is powerful. Do you really see any coterie in Indian football? I mean, you will never see, because Indian football doesn't have any money. A game as powerful as cricket, if you are a part of a team or a part of a subcommittee, you wield tremendous amount of power. So obviously there will be new coteries now. Lalit Modi is still in London, he is out. Shashi Tharoor no longer kind of advises a team. Vijay Mallya is out, but his team exists. So new equations will definitely come in.
We need to take a short break, but after the break, we're going to come back and move away from the politics of the game and instead focus on the cricketing aspect and take a look at some of the highs and the lows of this great game. So stay with us. Cover story show on the IPL. In this section, we are going to be concentrating on the game and looking at some of the players who made a debut thanks to the IPL and also some of the stars of this game.
This is player number 65.
Recently, 2 new teams have been added to the IPL. Gujarat Lions, owned by Keshav Bansal, the director of Intex Technologies, and the rising Pune supergiant bought by Kolkata businessman Sanjeev Goenka. The 2 teams were set up to replace Chennai Super Kings and Rajasthan Royals.
The working committee had made 4 recommendations, out of which one recommendation has been accepted by the working committee, that the 2 vacant slots should be auctioned for 2 years. After that, after 2 years, we will decide whether to go for 2 more franchises or we should confine to 8 teams only.
The Super Kings were the most successful in the IPL with a win percentage of 60.68 and had won the title twice in succession, both in 2010 and 11. In 2010, they won the Champion League 2020 for the first time and repeated the feat in 2014. Chennai Super Kings has had the most successful team and captain. But after Dhoni shifted from Super Kings to the skipper of rising Pune Giants, it does look as if his good luck stint has hit a roadblock.
Whoa, how quick was that? Another one. Big hands from Dhoni. Come back strongly.
Dhoni, who has been regarded as not just the best Indian captain till date, has also had the best captaincy tenure in IPL as the captain of Chennai Super Kings. But things have not been so cool for Captain Cool in the IPL. When Dhoni stepped down as the Indian captain in the shorter formats, that's essentially one-day matches, earlier this year, after leading the side for a decade, one had hoped to see his leadership skills shine in the IPL. However, as Dhoni's team failed to make a mark in the last 2 IPLs, he was removed as the captain of the relatively new franchisee in February this year. Industrialist Sanjeev Goenka cited the team's poor results in the last edition as one of the reasons for the change, replacing Dhoni with Steve Smith, the Australian leader across formats.
जितने बार मैं माही के साथ इंटरेक्ट किया, उतने बार I went away with some learning. He's one of the sharpest brains I've interacted with, and I walk away with tremendous respect for him. As an individual, as a leader, as a player, I have been one of his biggest fans. This is a new season, a new captain, and there is complete unity and complete togetherness in the team. So wish us well. We have a great squad. We have the potential to perform well. Back us to perform up to our potential.
Well, Dhoni is a good cricketer. He has got lots of cricket still left in him. And since he didn't want to captain the Pune team, so he has informed the franchisees accordingly. Now he'll be playing for Pune team, and I think he's still in cricket, and he will remain in cricket.
Dhoni is as good an astrologer as he's a cricketer, in the sense that he was able to foresee a lot of things in his game, and perhaps not so much only in his game, but also the rise of the youth in this country, and how, as what you said about IPL, empowered them. So I think the time when he left the space at the top was beautifully done. It was done with a lot of grace, and it was also done with a lot of foresight. And he's shown in no uncertain terms that he can play under younger players like Virat, which he's done when he's donning the Indian cap. So I don't really think it's going to be that much of a problem. He's a team player. And even as a captain, even though he used to take decisions, a large number of decisions individually, but you'd always see people somewhere down the line. What we're told in the dressing room, he was very communicative, very collaborative. So I'm sure he'll have a huge role to play with or without a captaincy.
While Captain Cool lost his captain's cap, some other Chennai Super King players have been able to achieve a career high in IPL with the change in team. Suresh Raina, who has been able to hold his game under the blue jersey, seems to be wooing his fans, this time wearing orange shirts for IPL's newbie Gujarat Lions. The swashbuckling opener from his first 2 innings has showcased the way he's planning to proceed in this lucrative tournament.
I now declare open the DLF Indian Premier League.
Indian Premier League, the tournament played in the shortest cricket format, has turned out to be India's only sporting festival every year since its inception in 2008. It has garnered its fair share of criticism over years, but on the brighter side, it has also given young India talent a new stage. Not just Indian cricketers, but players from all over the world have felt the impact of this tournament on their careers. There have been no stopping the guys who have learned and trained in the world's best T20 league. The IPL rule of having a limited number of foreign players on one team gave them a chance to experiment with youngsters. Here are some of our homegrown stars. Hardik Pandya. He was playing for Baroda before he was purchased by the Mumbai Indians in 2015. Mentored by the likes of Ricky Ponting and Sachin Tendulkar, Hardik flourished and went on to play match-winning knocks for the Mumbai Indians side. In 2016, he was included in India's T20 squad for the Asia Cup and the World Cup. Kuldeep Yadav, the 19-year-old who idolizes Shane Warne, took up cricket accidentally, but is making the most of the opportunities coming his way. A medium pacer to begin with, Yadav took to spin bowling after his coach insisted that he didn't have the right height to succeed as a medium pacer. Mumbai Indians were quick to sign him on for IPL 2012, and thereafter he joined Kolkata Knight Riders because of the franchisee's liking for unorthodox bowlers. In the recent India vs Australia match in Dharamshala, Yadav made his debut in Test cricket, taking 4 wickets. Akshar Patel. The lanky Akshar Patel showcased his performance with Kings 11 Punjab in 2014 when they made it to the finals. That he kept a bowler of Murli Kartik's caliber out of the side speaks volumes of his performance. Akshar showed decent talent with the bat and went on to represent India in Bangladesh soon after that. Jasprit Bumrah, the fast bowler, learned from his Mumbai Indians teammate Lasith Malinga and carved himself a reputation for possessing an uncanny ability to hit the block hole. It was during his time in the IPL that he learned from the Sri Lankan to judiciously use the Yorker. WP Saha was signed up by Kolkata Knight Riders for the inaugural season of Indian Premier League. Dhoni's retirement from Test cricket has opened doors for Saha, who has long been an understudy, to firm his position in the team. He was the wicket-keeper in the recent India-Australia Test match.
You see a beautiful wrestle on the field. What's going on there? There's a little bit of an inside edge.
Look at the end goal, he knows it's a dead ball.
IPL is the one league which has promoted all the junior cricketers, and it's mandatory for all the franchise to pick up junior cricketers. So it has really given boost to the budding talent, and a lot many boys had been identified in last 10 years who have made it to Team India also.
It's not just the Indian players who have benefited from this format, but even international players have used IPL to either make a debut or else resurrect their flagging careers. Some of these names from the Australian side include David Warner, who just played the opening batsman in the recent test matches against India versus Australia, or else Shane Watson or even Steve Smith, who have used this format to resurrect their careers. But that's it from now. Thank you for watching Cover Story. We'll see you again same time next week.